So the 24-hour challenge that we completed yesterday was basically in teams of 2. We each completed 8 hours in total. So we were doing 1 hour on, 2 hours off. And whilst that sounds in principle quite straightforward, quite manageable, I think, we need to keep in mind that we are all wounded, injured, sick, serving personnel and veterans. So all of us have either some physical limitations of some kind. There's very little time for actual rest. So when we say it was 24 hours, it genuinely was a 24-hour challenge. My experience before this, so I came to AFPST earlier this year and have been lucky enough to do 2 trips with the Nordic team, one in Bavaria and to Colorado earlier this year. And then was selected to take part in the challenge. I haven't done a lot of Nordic skiing at all. My first introduction was last year, where I went to Norway and did the Hardangervidda, but that was very much cross-country skiing, not a pisted, flat route. It was very undulating, so completely different to the skiing that we've been doing out here and that I've been doing since joining.
So initially, I was partnered up with Cody, one of the other girls on the team. And actually, Georgie and I had a conversation about that and thought that really, because our illnesses, whilst different, can present very similar symptoms, we thought that we'd perhaps be able to manage our fatigue together, didn't we? And so in the end, we got partnered up together. We get on really well. Whilst we were on the ski trip, the first and second hour actually went really well. We had a good time. We were chatting away. There was not really a great deal of fatigue. The pain hadn't set in. And then hour 3 came. And honestly, I personally had a bit of a meltdown. I felt like I needed to move faster and be better. And I found that overwhelming. That's my head and the way I was thinking about things. We had a good conversation this morning about that, and we came to the realisation that the reason why I got so emotional and upset about the situation was because I'm embarrassed. And I think that when we got to that conclusion, it was very upsetting, because actually that is how I feel generally about the fact that I do have these illnesses or injuries and illness that limit me. I feel slower, less able, or, even at work. I find this at work now when I struggle with brain fog and I feel like I can't articulate myself properly and I'm making silly mistakes. I'm embarrassed. And I think now we've come to the conclusion that for me, in bold, capital, bold, underlined, highlighted, it's embarrassment. And that's why I felt vulnerable around those other people. So I learned a lot from that conversation with Georgie earlier. I think that's something that I'm going to take away as a positive spin on what happened during the challenge. This week, I've been very lucky to have been coached by a former Paralympian, Terry Ahrens. Terry, how have you found this week and the challenge?
I found this week has been absolutely fantastic for you guys and for me myself. Just what I've seen, how you've progressed, got on with the challenge, how you've improved. It's just been so many things that have happened. It's made me smile all the way through, and I really have loved it. You're the one who's done the hard work.
You're very patient, and I'm very grateful. You've been great.
Nordic skiing is a physically demanding sport, even for the seasoned skiers. And for Lynsey to come into this, who's done very little on snow at the moment, and just to get on with it and get her head down and knuckle down and get on with it, has been absolutely fantastic. Every day there's been a different challenge, a different goal. She's set herself and improved. It's been just fantastic to watch.
I'd just like to wrap up this session by saying thank you very much for listening. But also, I just want to highlight the fact that this particular charity, the Armed Forces Para-Snowsports Team, has given people like myself and Georgie a newfound purpose and sense of ability. What I'd like you to think is, if ever you were in a position whereby you think that you're not capable, or you're stuck in a rut, or like me, you're that hamster in the wheel that just feels like you're getting absolutely nowhere. If you fancy trying something new, the Armed Forces Para-Snowsports Team will absolutely envelope you in their support. I promise you that you can achieve anything that you put your mind to, because I literally have just done that this week with this challenge, and I am so proud of myself for doing it.